Hello Crimson Tide. Subscribe to keep receiving the latest Bama updates. Feinbaum again. Here's the news. Paul Feinbaum names a significant college football rivalry that has lost its appeal. The historic Iron Bowl rivalry between the Alabama Crimson Tide and the Auburn Tigers has long been celebrated as one of the most iconic in college football. Annually, the November clash not only captivates fans but also shapes the national landscape of the sport. Over the years, memorable moments have marked this rivalry. From Cam Newton's legendary comeback in 2010, propelling the Tigers to a national title, to the epic kick six in 2013, which elevated Auburn to the championship game, and more recently, the game-winning 4th and 31-yard touchdown that secured Alabama's victory last season and their entry into the college football playoff. However, ESPN college football analyst Paul Feinbaum offers a critical reflection. Feinbaum argues that since Nick Saban arrived in Tuscaloosa, the rivalry's intensity seems to have lost some of its luster. Under Saban's leadership, Alabama has won 12 of the last 17 games against Auburn, which, according to Feinbaum, has diminished the historical balance and unpredictability that characterized past matchups. I don't see the Alabama-Auburn rivalry as it was 15 or 20 years ago, Feinbaum recently commented on his show. Nick Saban has dominated. Now it's more a matter of, well, maybe we can beat them every 2 or 3 years, compared to what it was in previous decades, even up until the day Saban took over. Feinbaum suggests that with Saban's retirement, the Tigers might see a new chance to level the playing field. Kalen DeBoer, Alabama's new head coach, brings an impressive track record of success from Washington, where he posted an impressive 25-3 record over the last 2 seasons, culminating in a national championship appearance in 2024. Expectations are high to see if DeBoer can replicate his previous success in Tuscaloosa, while fans are eager to see if this leadership renewal will bring a new dynamic to the historic rivalry between Alabama and Auburn on the field. What do you think? Do you agree? Deontay Lawson is ready to take on a prominent defensive role at Alabama this upcoming season. The news was announced by the Alabama football team itself through the platform X. While Malachi Moore is recognized for his potential as a vocal leader on defense, Deontay Lawson is also highlighted for the same capability. Last season, Lawson emerged as a key player in the defensive rotation, making a smart impact against USF and Tennessee. In 2023, Lawson accumulated impressive stats, recording 67 tackles and 3 sacks, now preparing for an even more prominent and impactful role this upcoming season. Lawson and Moore's loyalty to the Crimson Tide after the transition from Nick Saban to Kalen DeBoer has been vital for the team's stability. And for sure, we need guys like this on the team. With significant changes in the coaching staff and major losses on both sides of the ball, retaining these key players is crucial for the Tide's aspirations to stay at the top of college football. We're always cheering for the Tide. And how are Alabama's talents faring out there? Let's talk a bit more about that. The Detroit Lions are gearing up to take a more aggressive approach with Brian Branch on the field in 2024. Branch, who shone in his last season at Alabama and was considered the best safety available in the 2023 NFL Draft, had an interesting rookie trajectory after being selected by the Lions in the 2nd round. Initially, he was positioned almost exclusively as a slot cornerback during his debut season. Jim O'Neil, the Lions' defensive assistant, explained that the decision to limit Branch to one specific position in his first season was strategic. "We preferred to fix him in one position," said O'Neil. However, he sees potential for a more expansive role for Branch next season. "Now that he's entering his 2nd year, I think we'll be more aggressive with him," O'Neil commented during Detroit's mandatory minicamp. "He's the kind of player you want to see on the field for all 3 downs, so we're going to push him for that. But ultimately, he still needs to prove his value during training." Branch had an impressive rookie season, participating in 15 regular season games and recording 74 tackles, 3 interceptions, 13 passes defended, 7 tackles for loss, and 1 forced fumble. These solid numbers tied him for 5th place in the voting for the AP NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year award, which was won by his former Alabama teammate, Will Anderson Jr., now with the Houston Texans. During the postseason, Branch continued to excel, accumulating 20 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, and 1 pass defended in 3 games, helping the Lions reach the NFC Championship game for the first time since 1991. Despite this, in 10 of those games, he played less than 75% of the defensive snaps. O'Neal is confident that Branch can add the safety position to his repertoire in the NFL. "I think it's just a matter of learning," said O'Neal. "He had an incredible offseason in the classroom. We pushed him to communicate a lot with us as a secondary group and as coaches, so now he just needs to take that to the field. He played really well as a rookie in the role he had last year. Now, he can take the next leap as a second-year player and maybe settle in as a safety or split between safety and nickel. That's something we'll figure out during training camp." With Kirby Joseph and Ifeatu Melifonwu returning after 15 and 6 starts, respectively, the safety position in Detroit's defense seems unstable, making Branch's move to that role more likely. The Lions also bolstered their cornerback depth this offseason. Detroit did not renew their top 2 cornerbacks from last season, Cameron Sutton and Jerry Jacobs. In March, the Lions traded for former Auburn standout Carlton Davis, a 6-year starter at cornerback for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and signed Amik Robertson, who started 12 games for the Las Vegas Raiders last season. Additionally, they drafted Alabama cornerback Terrion Arnold and Missouri cornerback Ennis Rakestraw Jr. with their first 2 picks in April. Branch showed as a rookie that he possesses the qualities Detroit defensive coordinator Aaron Glenn values in the nickel or slot position. If you asked AG if he prefers his nickel to come from the safety position or the cornerback position, he'll say he prefers from the safety position, said O'Neal. "That's due to the amount of tasks we ask these players to do, like fitting into the run formation. In my opinion, the nickel position is one of the hardest to play on the defensive side of the ball in the NFL because you need to cover like a cornerback, adjust to the run like a linebacker, and communicate and perform multiple functions like a safety." Wherever Branch ends up in the Lions secondary, O'Neal expects him to play well. And all of Bama does too. And what about Bryce Young? Let's talk about him now. Young, the Panthers quarterback, is determined to become the best player in the NFL. An ambition that is unsurprising given his brilliant history at Alabama. Despite a difficult rookie season with only 2 wins, Young maintains the same attitude and skills that set him apart in college. Dave Canales, Carolina's new coach who specializes in working with quarterbacks, sees in Young the same qualities he demonstrated with the Crimson Tide. "When I watched him in Alabama, whether in early games or the big end-of-season matchups, he always had the same impact," Canales told CBS Sports. "He approaches his work the same way. I know he will face challenges, but he was the best player in high school and the best player in college. He expects to be the best again in the NFL." For Young to achieve this goal, the Panthers have a lot to improve around him. In 2023, Young faced constant pressure, being sacked 62 times, the most for any quarterback last season. Additionally, he frequently played in adverse situations, dropping back to pass 486 times when the team was behind on the scoreboard, reflecting the Panthers' tough season, which ended with a 2-15 record. In comparison, Trevor Lawrence, the Jaguars quarterback, also faced a challenging rookie season in 2021 but recently signed a $55 million per year contract extension, showing that recovery is possible. The Panthers are taking steps to strengthen their offense. They acquired wide receiver Deontay Johnson from the Steelers and signed offensive lineman Robert Hunt and Damian Lewis with significant investments. In the April draft, they traded up to select wide receiver Xavier Legette from South Carolina and running back Jonathan Brooks, a former Texas Longhorn. Besides the roster changes, Young is mentally adjusting to the NFL. "I thought and struggled a lot with it," Young said. "I tried to suppress my emotions and stay steady, but it didn't work. Now, I allow myself to have temporary moments of negativity or be silly, as long as I can pull myself together. It makes stabilizing easier rather than trying to always be stable. Young's journey to becoming the best player in the NFL is just beginning, but expectations are high for the talented quarterback and his team. And who from Alabama doesn't miss Bryce Young? Let's hear your thoughts now.